Recently, I found in my garbage, well, not garbage, just some boxes on the table. Yeah, this is garbage talk again. So, in short, I found this USB stick and finds out that it has a lot of crap on it. So recently, I re-uploaded all the videos on YouTube. At least some of them, because others are really crap quality. But if you want to, you can check that out on my Instagram, link in description. Well, we love to talk about old stuff, at least I do. So today is not an exception. Today, we're gonna discuss that video like, don't watch it. Well, we won't discuss this video and tear it apart. We're gonna discuss this topic because the topic is way more interesting. So, let's begin. Greetings and my name is Peter recording live from VMflame Incorporated. How are you doing right now? I'm doing excellent. Let's get back to classic environment. A lot of people asked me to do an episode, so 50% out of 100 voted for this episode. So, that's why I made it, and I actually wanted to make an episode about this. So, let's begin. For starters, just don't Google. Which processor did Apple devices had in time gap between 1995 and 2006? Well, if you didn't buy Apple devices, you can just skip to the good part. Yeah, to the answer. But if you bought, I'm pretty sure someone heard the word PowerPC. Well, that was the processor which stood inside Apple's devices back in the day. That's why actually classic environment comes in. So classic environment dates back to the very first version of macOS 10 and actually stayed there up to macOS 10 Leopard, the last macOS 10 software compatible with PowerPC. So what's classic environment? This is kind of a time machine, but it's not the time machine which we saw in Back to Future movie. Well, this is something different. Remember the virtual machines? This is something similar, but it has some differences. Well, let's tear it apart and dive in. How does virtual machine work? Well, it's really simple. We got a virtual hard drive, we've got virtual GPU, we've got virtual CPU, and everything virtual except the camera and microphone. Except, well, you can connect them, but again, the video card and sound card are again virtual. What about classic environment? It's way more different. So, it uses the same hard drive, it uses the same GPU, CPU, camera, microphone. It's pretty the same, but there is one thing in difference. The partition. If you want to know more about what partitions are, you can check my video about disks and partitions, link in the description again, so check that out. But in short, what is partition? In case with classic environment, the user automatically divided the drive into two parts. One of these parts had macOS 10 software on it, and on the other partition it has macOS 9. But you may be asking me now, what the heck is going on right now? Why did Apple actually do this? The classic environment is actually some kind of optimizer. So now Apple didn't make it, and that's actually really bad because a lot of apps which are really cool, I can't open them just on Big Sur. Although I can open on the Catalina, but just I want to use them here. Why should I hook up another computer just to run one app? Well, at that time, Apple really thought about customers. So Apple do that even now, but at that time, Steve Jobs actually was really attentive. So classic environment was kind of a mirror, so its main goal was to open up old applications from classic environment. So for example, you had a video editor for macOS 9. For example, the same happened with even Apple's software, like iMovie. Yeah, it dates back to 1999. So in the first years of usage, not even public beta, even like public release, stable one, so you couldn't just run iMovie natively on macOS 10, you just needed to launch it via classic environment. But this isn't just everything. So classic environment, how I said earlier, used the same GPU, used the same CPU, but used other partition. But what's the difference of classic environment and the usual virtual machine? Classic environment has two running modes. So sometimes when you Google classic environment just in Google search, you may see two types of screenshots. One, you may see a window with macOS 9 user interface and some apps open there. And the second type of screenshots, you can use just the classic environment logo in the dock and you see some kind of apps with old UI, but just like crammed into new user interface. So sometimes you may see something like this, like you just run macOS 10 Tiger and then you open up a classic application, and this is a little bit of inconsistency here, right? So I actually made it possible on my iMac from latest on 6 with Intel processor. Actually saw some really freaking old UI for macOS 9. Although it's an Intel based machine. You know why? Here comes Rosetta in. So Rosetta actually implemented a classic environment, and then Intel machines can run Massive classic environment, and then it was killed because macOS 10 sold up, but it doesn't support PowerPC. Yeah, I know it's a little bit of teardown, which makes it stuck in the brain.
Hello everybody! Nowadays it's really popular to run earlier operational systems.
I'm pretty sure at one time I will be able to buy a PowerPC machine just to experience some classic environment solid philosophy. Yeah. So you just need to buy a PowerPC machine, like just iMac G4 or iMac G5 or everything even older, just to have experience of classic environment, because it's a really cool piece of crap. Just try it if you're able to. So thank you real much for watching this episode. Yeah, it was quite short comparing to my previous episode about iOS history. By the way, check that out. It was a cool episode. So thank you real much again. That was Peter Rigori. I'm from VMflame Incorporated. See you next time. Stay tuned for my next episode. And I'm going away.